when it comes to the TV show Reacher Season 3, I'm going to be 100% honest with you and say I found it to be a great watch. Firstly, I just love the fact that each of these seasons are so different from the other, with this one being the most evident, as we're seeing Reacher being undercover, all because a particular person from his past has sprung up, and Reacher thought he took care of him, but he is now alive in the flesh, and Reacher is here to stop that. The most hooking nature of this show was Reacher being undercover and seeing all the ways he can keep his cover intact, whether it be murdering those who know he is undercover, framing certain people to make it look like they're undercover and making sure that he is the most trustworthy person out of the gang, or just framing an unknown enemy, causing a rift between particular families without even knowing. And we get so many close calls with Reacher and his cover being blown that it really is edge of your seat moments of television, and it's such a great ride. What I loved is when Reacher is put undercover, we see someone who's bigger than Reacher, and it makes for this really cool narrative of when will we see these two go to head. And I do love, for the most part, that Reacher is just able to humiliate this person anytime he tries to humiliate Reacher, and for the most part Reacher getting the upper hand. This show, what I do enjoy, it does something different with the villains. It makes you feel a bit more emotion towards them, as instead of being just straight evil or selfish, we see that the family Reacher is working for are intimidated, scared out of their life for the people they work for. And they're not working because they are criminals, it's out of fear of losing their own family, so they have to continue working for this person, and they've had many warnings before. And I enjoyed that there's a bit more empathy towards them that even Reacher understands. The show, like always, has violence out the wazoo. It's interesting to see Reacher has no qualms when it comes to killing people, and it does make you question if he is the good guy, as for the most part he just acts as judge, jury and executioner, and you do wonder if he has a bloodlust. The show, like always, has a great amount of humour. Usually it is from Reacher and his funny quips, but there are occasions where it's just from physical violence, where we see Reacher humiliating bodyguards anytime they try to intimidate or belittle him. And lastly, I love that this show has so many twists from the very beginning towards the end, and you're so hooked into it. Such edge of your seat material with the constant twists going on, and they never feel boring or out of play. It's just gravitating TV. Now when it comes to the ending, I will say I found it a bit disappointing that they were able to wrap up the ambush that was set up in the previous episode so quickly, but when it came to the actual deal that was going down, I think they did a great job when it came to the pacing and the way they built up to quite a lot of action plots. But the main hooking part for this episode was seeing the battle between Paulie and Reacher, with one seemingly getting the upper hand on the other, but just when they think they've won, they're able to escape and get the advantage. And we're just seeing this through a lot of the episode, and it's so entertaining, and it gets to a stupendous and hilarious end. I will say I enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just such a good ending on Reacher's part. He does lose people, but at the same time it's not so many people that you could consider it a sad ending. We see that one of the somewhat bad guys is finally able to stand up to his captor and show his son how much he truly loves him just before he meets his demise. Now when it comes to criticisms, I'll be honest and say I only have one, and that is I found the whole love story that they have been throwing into each season, but this one in particular, very tedious. I felt it was so unnecessary just to make who I thought was a really great female character just into a romantic interest for Reacher. Now, I will say she was a great character before this happened, and she was a great character after. I just felt it was so unneeded to make this plot device added into the show. It was a really great series, and this just didn't need to be added in. I think it's something producers or just particular people who like this really are thriving towards it, but I personally just think it's a pointless plot device and it's a bit diminishing towards the female characters, but that's just me. Overall, I really enjoyed this series. I think it is the best so far, and what I love about this show is that Season 3 is much better than Season 2, but Season 2 was miles ahead of Season 1. Each season feels so different from the other. They've never done the same thing twice, and I really like that. Specifically with a new show like this. I love the violence that we get. I really enjoy Reacher as a character, either from the comedy he brings or the violence, or just learning about him, whether it be through flashbacks or him bringing up his own past. For all those reasons, is this show good? No, it's great. Rating wise, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Now when it comes to would I rewatch it, that answer is a plain and simple yes. Honestly, this particular season is amazing for so many reasons. Firstly, the violence, the story, the character development, all amazing things that I think from a TV perspective have executed amazingly well. It really kept me on my seat wanting more after each and every episode. Now when it comes to recommendations, before Alan Ritchson was playing the titular character, he was in a TV show called Blue Mountain State, a great sitcom where he was one of the funniest characters, playing Chad, somewhat a stereotyped alpha male, but just having this high-pitched voice and really quite emotional parts. I thought it was hysterical. He is great in that show. Now when it comes to badass characters on television, I would definitely talk about 24 as Kiefer Sutherland's portrayal as Jack Bauer. He is the OG badass of television, especially in that show. Whilst he doesn't have the same physique as Reacher, he does have the same background, and he is the very essence of badass. Another character who I feel like you could somewhat compare to Reacher is Jason Bourne from the original Bourne trilogy. Again, both have that background in Marines. The only difference I would say is, apart from physique, one works with the law, one is fleeing from the law. And then lastly, I would say the film Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, as both have quite big physiques and ex-Marines, but also they go through enemies very quickly and killing anyone in their way, but their main mission is to save/kill someone. Those are my recommendations. This has been my review for the TV show Reacher Season 3. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and most importantly, thank you and have a nice day.